You know, it's just, you know, realizing we had this major drought summer, like, you know, 70 days of no rain. And you get down with your hands and you see it's totally damp. This stuff never dries out. It's just so awesome. I mean, look at this. It's just totally...
Another day, another Eden. We keep continually getting better, slowly but surely. Had a great day hanging out with Paul yesterday. Good morning, Paul.
Good morning.
You been up and at 'em this morning?
Sure.
What you been doing this morning?
Oh, I just, you know, just got the chickens out and fed the cats and the dog. Good morning.
Good morning.
It looks like you're ready for some work.
I'm gonna go get some potatoes up.
Okay, can we come along?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
So here's the potatoes.
Oh, we would have missed them.
I know.
You know, and so you can see they're obviously done now. So I'm gonna pull up the plant.
Up.
And this is what I so love about this. Usually when people are digging potatoes, they have a fork. Now you look at these beautiful potatoes coming out of the ground here. And with my hand, I just move the wood chips away.
Goodness.
Look at
huge
these
potatoes.
awesome potatoes that were growing here all year with no water. And you can see as I'm going down in here, it's damp. It's not dry. Now you see I got them all out. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go over here, find my biggest, nicest shaped potato, put it back in the hole, and cover it, and I just plant it for next year. And what you just saw right now is the full extent of the whole potato process. I won't hill, I won't water, I'm done.
Nice.
Is that cool?
That's very easy.
Can it get easier?
No,
And look at my hand. It's not even dirty.
I know.
I'm just telling you, it's so fun.
It's right here under your apple tree too, so it
under my
doesn't
apple
take up
tree,
any
in a
other
place-
space.
In a place where you wouldn't naturally grow stuff,
Right.
but you can see the apple's not, you know, hasn't been nothing's taken away from it.
Why did you choose to put it right under the apple tree?
Because I'm now trying to do things they say you can't. Just because I want to show people that there aren't any can'ts in nature.
And you'll just come get that next year.
Next year I'll get that with, you know, a whole bunch of other ones. And why I plant the biggest? There's a reason. You see these little eyes right here? That's where shoots come out. And the more eyes you have, the more shoots you're going to get. As the potato grows, it feeds on the potato. So the larger the potato, with the more shoots and more potato, you get a bigger crop. You see the little ones taste the same as the big. Plant your big ones. Get a bigger crop. And look at that. You know, if you watch the whole process go down with my hand, no tools, it just makes it so easy.
Do you do all this work yourself still, Paul?
Yes.
How much work is involved?
Not a lot. It's quite easy.
I just saw the potato process.
Yeah. It's, you know, and again, you know what I'm finding? When I used to till and weed and have to fight, my garden was a drag. I didn't want to be there. This is fun. This is enjoyable.
Okay.
And now I love it because it's just enjoyable. It just makes such a difference when you have a covering. You see, I'm on my knees. I'm not getting dirty. You know, it's comfortable under my knees because this has buoyancy. It's not on hard, compacted, muddy soil. And it's just enjoyable. It's pleasure. And being connected to the earth and grounded is so therapeutic for you, you know, physically. It's just, there's so many benefits. It's all plus. And watch this little weed. See the little weed there? See how quick it comes out, you know? It's just, every part of it is enjoyable because it's not hard. Where conversely, when I used to till and had mud and compacted ground, fighting weeds, it was miserable. It was no fun. This is the fun.
In your movie, Back to Eden, it's all about using wood chips in your garden. And the whole idea was that it would eliminate watering, weeding,
Fertilizer.
crop rotation, fertilization. Have you found that to be true?
Totally.
7 years later?
This has been like, you know, 20 years. You know, my orchard is 38 years later, yeah.
Okay.
And the beauty is that every year, my produce gets bigger and sweeter. Because what I'm finding is that the Creator's not static. It's not like it just gets a level. It's always increasing because you see, as this material is breaking down, more is going into the soil and the plants take out. And so you have a compounding interest situation in place, which is so fun. You know, static, something just being the same, is boring, you know, so it's just really, really, again, the Creator just didn't miss anything. He made it so good for us. You know, it's just, you know, realizing we had this major drought summer, like, you know, 70 days of no rain, and you get down with your hands and you see it's totally damp. This stuff never dries out. It's just so awesome. I mean, look at this. It's just totally, incredibly damp, beautiful soil.
So if somebody else wants to do this, which I'm sure you've inspired thousands of people to do this, myself included, what do you recommend they do? Let's say they have just, they don't even, let's say they have a garden. What do they do?
Cover it with wood chips. And right now is the ideal time. If you look in nature, the Creator puts a covering of needles and leaves over the whole planet every fall.
Okay.
And the wisdom of that is that when do farmers fertilize?
When do farmers fertilizer? In the spring.
Which is stupid when you think about it. You're planting in the spring and it takes time for fertilizer to get to root level. The Creator in His wisdom does it every fall, and then He sends a winter of rain and snow that creates compost tea that feeds the soil, builds the soil for next spring's growth. And He uses gravity to do all the work. When you start looking at how this works, you stand in awe at the wisdom of the Creator. Gravity just takes it down. You know, if you know today anything about, you know, farming, compost tea is a rage. It's the most valuable, desirable fertilizer there is, compost tea. And people buy it, and they go out and they, you know, water their garden with it. Second or third watering, it's all diluted and gone beyond the root system. When you put a cover in the ground, every time it rains, every time you water, any time it snows, you get a compost tea release. So your plants are constantly being fed, unending. And gravity does all the work. It's the most beautiful, simple, amazing system you can ever imagine. Compost tea free forever, no limit. Just put the wood chips down. It's just, it's so cool. I love this. You know, if you look at my soil, you go behind my house, it's this clay and rock you can't move with a pick. And I'm down with my fingers, man, going into this stuff with no effort. And it's soft, and it's not hard. It's just so awesome.
Wow. Come around here.
So this fall, Will you come in here and put some wood chips down?
I don't need to now because this is so adequate. See, what I'm finding is that as time goes on, I'm doing less and less work. Because you see, I have a major base built, and my soil's not hungry, and so it's not consuming. When I first started, Justin, I was blown away at how quickly this stuff broke down.
Okay.
Because my soil was really hungry. It was starving. It's not now, and so it doesn't need to eat as much, and so it's consuming less. You know, again, it's such a, you know, it's so simple when you start looking at it. It's just, you know, it's not complicated.
That stuff you're throwing in that bucket, is that going to be for the chickens?
Chickens, yeah. Anything in my yard that, you know, all waste goes to the chicken pen. Everything. And they very meticulously, with their little feet, chop it all up, grind it all up, and whatever they choose not to eat turns back to soil. And I tell people, this is my soil manufacturing plant. The eggs are just a bonus.
Everybody likes watching this. Huh?
Fun. Yes. But see, I'm moving with my hand. And I'm telling you, man, when I came here, my rototiller is bouncing off this stuff because it was so hard and compacted. You know? Just push it all back. And we're good.
Everyone.
Those little tiny ones aren't worth me messing with, so I'm just going to give them to the chickens. Chickens will eat those. They're good.
So if somebody had just sod and then didn't even have a garden, how would you suggest
Grass?
they get started?
Grass is a really nice green material, and you just lay wood chips over it. If you do 8 inches or more, the grass won't come through. If you do less, put paper down, and paper will suffocate the grass, and the grass becomes a wonderful fertilizer to feed. Now see, look at this big root. You have my apple tree, you know, and you see that in no way is impeding the growth of the potato, you know, and it's just they all can live here well.
Now last year in our garden, maybe you can help us with this problem. We had a wood chip garden. We planted into it. The stuff came up slow and yellow, and what we ended up having to do was, based on a local gardener suggestion, was put bone meal around it. And what else we put around it, Rebecca?
We did lime and bone meal.
Lime and bone meal, and it revived. Mm-hmm. But do you have any idea what might happen there?
The soil was weak. You see, prior to you coming, it had been depleted.
Oh yeah, it was bad soil before.
And so it had to be fed. And so starting out, it was hungry. And so this is very common, you know, but you'll find next year, without adding the bone meal and the thing, stuff's going to be green because it's been feeding. And so it's just, you know, to me, it's just so, you know, simple. The ground was hungry. It was deprived. When I planted these trees here, it took 7 years before I had fruit because the ground was so deficient. You look at a little tree over there, you see the amount of fruit on that? That's 2 years old.
Oh wow.
So it just shows you nutrient density is such a significant principle. And when there's none, things don't do well. They can't produce. And when you for years been tilling and mining the soil of minerals to grow plants, it's deficient, big time. And it doesn't, you know, empower immediately. It takes time to develop that food source. And you just have to be patient, understanding, and realize like that's how it is. But you'll find in your garden that every year it'll get better. It's this constant upgrade because this is constantly feeding the soil.
So what'd you do at first before you had deep mulch soil?
I used to plant, I'll tell you something amazing, and people need to get this. If you want to have an incredible potato crop, if you have a lawn or grass place you want to use, mow it down real low, plant your potatoes right on top of the grass. Don't dig them in, just lay them on top of the grass. And you do it in rows, 3 feet apart, and plant the potato one every foot, and cover it with 8 to 10 inches of wood chips and water real well. You'll have the most amazing potato crop you've ever had in your life. And it's just awesome. Just lay them on the ground and cover with wood chips. It's just phenomenal. See, the grass will right away, you know, break down and start feeding them because it's, you know, good organic material in the wood chips. And it's just so cool.
Do you transplant plants or do you direct seed?
I direct seed because I just keep going to nature, and I notice in nature that nothing's transplanted. There's no starts or transplants. Everything's seeded. And I find that when I use transplants, They usually, when you plant them, they stand still and go backwards. They don't grow. And I've often done people test. This is plant a seed next to the transplant and watch the seedling pass it up. It's amazing.
How do you plant a seed into the mulch?
You can throw it on the ground like nature does, or just make a little, I plant nothing any deeper than like a 1/4 inch. Just shallow, just make a little groove and plant it. Here's what's cool, in your wood chips, when you first put it on, they're really heavy, so you pull them back until you get to some really fine soil. Here's what's awesome, when you get this little ridge here, it knocks out the wind, and down below it's warmer, and your seeds come up quicker.
Okay.
As the seedlings come up, then you take your wood chips and just move them back around the soil to cover it, and then you take off. You go visit with your friends, talk on the phone, go to work, because your garden no longer needs you. It'll totally carry itself. I'm telling you, when you start getting how simple and totally capable this is without any help, it's just so awesome. And you can just, intuitively, you just look at this, you just know there's nothing that wouldn't grow in this. This is like nutrient dense, amazing soil. You know how it happened? I did nothing. I just put wood chips down, and it all happens on its own. It's just, to me, so awesome, so amazing. And that's it. This is what kids should be doing. Be on the ground, connected to the earth, and enjoying all the benefits of it. You see them, they naturally just dig and have fun because they can.
Yeah.
Everybody can take some, so you can,
Okay, that's enough probably right there, Jonah.
It's all of you. Take plenty. No, really, I want
Take a
you to
lot,
enjoy.
Papa. I want a lot.
There's no shortage here.
So good.
You get some.
Say thank you.
All right. You're so welcome. Thank you for your help.
Yeah. Say, can we take this to the chickens for you?
You may. Thank you.
All right, let's pay him back and let's take this to the chickens for him.
You're welcome.
Anything else we can help you with?
No, I'm good.
Take it to the chicken.
Okay, let's take that to the chickens for him and bring him his puppies back. All right, Josiah, make their day, buddy. This one won't make their day too much, but ours will. But regardless, they'll shred this. They'll shred this, but they're not gonna eat. Oh, you're welcome. What they're not gonna eat, they're gonna spread around.
They probably like those apples.
Very happy chickens. That's a big boy.